Hi FlossTube, welcome back. This is my third FlossTube, Threads and Tales with Sarah. You can hear that my voice has gone. I am freshly back from Camp Black Needle, which was in Kansas City. I drove home, it was almost 10 hours yesterday. I just drove straight home and listened to the BNS, Books with BNS book, which is the mostly true story of Tanner and Louise, and I've got like an hour and a half left and I'm loving it. So I actually ended up talking to my mom on the phone for that last bit of the drive and did not finish my book, but it was well worth it. I do have some cider to sip on so I don't fully lose my voice. I don't even know where to start. I have so much stuff, that's why I'm sitting on the floor. That I really am excited to show you that I brought home. I have so much to tell you about my first retreat experience. I do have kiddos running around in the background. I will be editing them out of the video if they pop in and out. So if I look a little disjointed here or there, it's because I was invaded by small people and I don't really want them on YouTube. So, oh my gosh, where do I start? So Camp Black Needle was hosted by the Black Needle Society. It is a yearly in-person retreat that they have hosted in the summer. I think this was the third year, but it was the first year I was able to attend. I actually did have tickets for the first year, and I ended up selling my spot because things happened and I was pregnant and high risk, and I thought I would be able to go, and then I was not able to go. So I'm really excited I was able to go to this one. The theme of this retreat was, I think it was murder mystery or just mystery. I don't remember quite. But I think it's pretty easy to look it up if you want to, and you're gonna get the gist of it anyway when I show you all the cool things we got. I will do a second video more in depth about my retreat experience. It was not 10 out of 10, unfortunately. The retreat itself, if we were to just isolate that, was fabulous. The people were amazing. The games were fun. The swag was really fun. I liked the setup. If we were to bring in other elements of the weekend experience, it was a very stressful weekend for me personally, and for many others. We had, and here's a quick preview, but we had a massive issue with the hotel. Many of us had significant problems with the hotel. And then I also had a personal situation that I had to handle that caused a lot of stress. So besides that, the retreat itself was really cool. We were able to attend Clue, which was like a dinner theater on Wednesday. Many of us did that optionally. I think 60-ish people ended up going, and the buffet was great. The theater was very big. I've been to one dinner theater in Maryland a couple of times, and that one was set up in like a round way so that everyone was seated around the stage. And then we were served dinner by the people who ended up acting in the show, which was very cool. Additionally, the intermission, they came out and served dessert. So they were like in costume and everything. It was much smaller, but it was still fabulous. So this one was set up like an actual theater plus tables and chairs. They had a lovely buffet. The food was very good. I just grabbed a little bit of everything for dinner. I think the roasted veggies were my favorite. They were so good. And maybe the shaved, I think it was pulled pork, but they were shaved little, very thin, like medallions. So good with barbecue sauce. And then for dessert, I had a strawberry Napoleon, which was fantastic. It was like the perfect puff pastry. And then it had some form of a pastry cream and macerated strawberries in it, like marinated strawberries. So good. Our server was fabulous. Really had a nice time at the theater. The show was very good. I definitely forgot how very 80s Clue is as a show, and I want to say they encompassed that very well in that play itself. But what I'm referring to, if you've seen it or you've seen Clue the movie, is they do the same bit kind of over and over and over and over. And that is the feature. Like, someone got murdered and they all run around in a circle and oh my gosh, who done it? And you know, they do the same kind of thing over and over as the show evolves. The actors were fabulous, especially the one who played the butler. He was on a roll. He was so good. So we did that Wednesday night. Thursday, 2 o'clock was check-in, and this is my first retreat, so I really didn't know what to expect, but I packed this. We're gonna move this for a second. I packed this guy right here full of stuff. I drove, so there was no limit. And then I ran back inside and I grabbed my specialty floss, and I ran back inside and I grabbed my fabric, and I brought my full-size light and my full-size Lowry stand and a big bucket of snacks, and boy did I pack. I'll talk about that in that second video. So for that check-in experience, we just brought down like a to-go bag, and my lovely friend Tamra, who I will link her FlossTube in the comments. I'll link a few people's. I've learned that that's the thing people do is shout-outs, and oh my gosh, thank you for the shout-outs. I'm so overwhelmed. So let's just ADHD focus. I have had 0 caffeine. I just wanted to get through this so that I can put these things away, because we have kind of a week coming up, and I'll go into that later. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget any amazing things. So this video is not going to be 10 minutes long. This video is going to be many more minutes long, and I hope that you like what I have to show you. So when we checked in, we were given these gorgeous little bags, which I think are so cute. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but you can see it says murder. And here is the pattern that we were given for the retreat. I think the pattern is called, and I will show you in a moment, I think it's Murder in a Quaint English Village. We'll get there. So, got this very cute project bag. And then later on, this is what was charted, was this lovely photo here. And then later on in the retreat, I believe Katie Landis added a QR code so that people can stitch the entire thing if they want to. I'm gonna pause for just a moment and let my dog inside. All right, so I have let them back inside. This is Murphy. This is my old man. He's very, very sweet. I'm not sure how to get it to focus on him. There he is. And then Tater is right behind me. Come here, Tate. Come here, come say hi. Come over here. They can't see you back there. This is my goat. Come up here. Bro, for real? Come here. Okay, this is Tater. This is my guy. He is a big goat. Look, he's like, I'm looking at you. Look this way. Look this, okay, you big goat. This is Tater, he's 8. Murphy is 15. We'll talk about Murphy in a minute. If they bark, we'll edit it out. All right, go lay down, go. Tater's a child, Tater's child. So, okay. We were given these cute bags. Patterns for that is on the front. The pattern for this year's snail is also featured on the back. He's very, very cute. And then in this bag, all the lovely things. And I actually didn't even go through the bag until later that evening because everything was so fast. Like, there was so much happening. There were so many people. There were so many lovely people. There were things everywhere. There was stuff to do. It was just a lot. The one thing I don't have here with me is my camp shirt, but all of our things came in this bag, which has evidence on it, which is very fun. I have no idea if any of this is focusing, but you're gonna get what you're gonna get today. We were able to pick a book. There were a choice of 3 different Agatha Christie books. So I picked Marple, which I think is a series of stories. 12 New Mysteries. So that's pretty fun. I have not read it yet. I'm an audiobook listener. I used to be a voracious book reader, but audiobooks have taken over for me and I love them. So here's some of the cool things that we got in our bag. We got this cute little magnifier. Let's see if I can make it actually focus on there. It's like on a necklace. Oh good, it's on the back. We got this little Mr. Sherlock snail. Many people finished this during the retreat, which was fantastic. I did get my nails done with blood spatter because murder mystery. Underestimated how awkward that would be between here and the retreat at just little stores and stuff where I was like, I swear I didn't just murder somebody. We got this little Wet Ones Tropical Splash. And the back of it says, "You'll thank me later." It's kind of fun. I'll get to that pattern in a moment. A lot of people use these on the table. I wasn't really sure if it was actually gonna come into place, so I kept mine folded. But I think maybe it was like a trash bag. You could put stuff in while you worked on things, or maybe to put all your little trinkets in. I'm not totally sure what this was for, but I love it. It's very cute. It's just a paper bag. We've got the Get a Clue notepad. It's just a lined notepad and paper. And then this bone pen, which was great. Ended up coming in handy a few times, more than a few times. We had this mysterious manila envelope that said, "Do not open until the evening." This little bag is very cute. I think everybody got different versions of patterns. I thought it was funny because I was like, it's like my hand. It fits. But it's a cool little padded bag. I'm not sure what I will use it for specifically. It's actually the perfect size for my iPad. And my tablet would fit in here really well. So I may end up using it for that, or kind of maybe a little on the go, put a couple of things in there and stick it in with the project. I love the like evidence on the bag. It's pretty fun. So for the pattern for this year, it is, oh, I was right. It is Murder in a Quaint English Village. It's by the Black Needle Society, designed by Katie Landis. Well, it says Catherine Landis on the paper. Let's see if I can get it to focus in on here. Look how cute that is. Isn't that sweet? So they gave us that. They gave us all of the floss that we would need to stitch it, along with, and it says, it's kind of cute, it says 22B Baker Street. And then we got this beautiful Bestitch Me, I chose linen fabric. So this one for me is called One More Reproduction. It's a great neutral. I'm really enjoying it. But it is meant to hold this pattern without all the extra bits. And where'd my, oh, I already showed you the little snail. I think, again, I was so overwhelmed. I think the floss here also covers the Sherlock snail. So that is very neat that, I mean, you really didn't have to bring anything. You could just bring a needle and sit down and stitch, because they gave you everything that you needed to get started and have a good time. And people brought all kinds of different things to work on. I picked 5 different things, and I worked on 1, 2, and I started a new one. We'll get there. We did have a make and take ort jar, which I loved. It was a little glass jar with a cork on it and some twine and a little label and labels that you can stick on the front. So I called mine, please focus. I called mine Threadly Remains. My best attempt at drawing a dagger. I am not a pen and paper artiste, but you can see I did add some Threadly Remains into that throughout the weekend. So loved that. That was very, very fun. The next element that I brought things for, but did not realize how many things I would be receiving. I think they're just called table gifts. So many people made 100, 105 gifts to walk around and pass out at everybody's station. It was like reverse trick-or-treating. These are what I passed out. My friend from PewPew Lasercraft sells these little wooden medallions, 2-sided laser etched with little F-bombs on them. And I saw it and I said, please, 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 can you make them a little bigger and one-sided? And she was like, why? And I was like, don't worry about it. But I told her I'd like to make needle minders out of them. So I walked around with my bag of F's and I passed them out until I had no more F's to give. But actually I did come home with a few extra. Woo! So I do have F's to give. I'll probably just bring them to like a local stitch-in or something to be able to pass them out. But they were very fun. They smell like a campfire. I love that. So everyone thought, I think We're a little tickled by that. I was like, would you like an F-bomb? And you could say frog bomb if you really wanted to, but I think we all know what it actually means. Here is what my table looked like when I went to pass out my F-bombs. While I was away, these lovely things were dropped off at the table. I tried to sort them all together. There's a beautiful bag someone hand sewed. There's some very fun little stickers there. There are some really cool little floss drops with charms on them. Again, I am new to the floss drop thing. There's some adorable needle minders. Everyone was just so clever. That one says peace was never an option. There's some counting pins. I love that little duck. Some pens and a spoolie brush for frogging. A beautiful Q-snap grime guard, as well as a little cork container with some candies in it. Looks like a little stitching survival kit for all those things you forget. Some miscellaneous, very fun items. There's a magnifying glass, a bookmark, a really neat little bar, a needle picker-upper, a coaster, a stitch counter, a whole bunch of scissors, some tiny and sweet little charms. It seemed to be the theme of the weekend was pineapples, so there's a little pineapple charm. In that little thing, there's a 2025, 2026 charm, a needle threader that had a cute little witch hat glued on it. There's those blood spatter nails again, and just another close-up of those floss drops. And this is what my table looked like when I got back from dropping off my own presents. Assuming that worked and you just saw the freebies that I was given, which was lovely, the next stop that I made was the freebie table once they opened it. But what I picked up, I got these fun little, they're not gonna focus, just the plastic, what is it called? Canvas. So I thought I can hook my kids up with some pearl cotton floss, and the 2.5-year-old, she can poke string through here. She'll have a good time. Maybe I'll get some colored Sharpies and draw her a picture so she can try to match the colors. I got a little tacky bob, which love that. And all these things are just in such good shape. I got these really fun colored scissors, because I need another pair of scissors, like a hole in the head. I really don't, but I do. I got these for little guys. I've seen people use these. I've never used them. I know they go around the edge of a Q-snap, like this, or maybe a hoop, whoever. I use Q-snaps, and they hold your extra fabric. So I got those to check out. And then later on, actually, a lovely stitcher said, "You like to use these?" And I was like, "I've never actually tried them." And she's like, "I don't like them. Do you want them?" So I think I actually have 8 of these now, which is awesome, because sometimes I'll use a bigger frame, so it'll be great to really secure that fabric on there. This is cute. I have no idea what I'm gonna use it for, but I couldn't leave it on the table. It's just a little cake. It's like it almost looks like a pencil topper, but it's just a little slice of cake with a candle. I don't know what I'll use it for, but it's just so cute I couldn't leave it. Got a little needle holder. Somebody had brought several fully stitched designs, and I think my bestie actually did stitch this, and so haha, I cheated. Now I have one too, but I didn't have to stitch. It's very cute. She's just a little witch, and I don't know if she's like roasting s'mores, but it's actually a spider. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's adorable. So I got that. Love this. I love Autumn Lane, but they've got the mermaid, Hawaiian mermaid. She's just so cute, and look at how cute her little tail is and her blushy little cheeks, and I love her. I've seen her stitched, and I've always thought, oh my gosh, I'd love to do her, and she was on the free table. I'm very excited about that. This is just so silly. I love it. It's I think if I look at the camera, it looks from my face, so I'll just try not to look at the camera. It says he's making a list. I've eaten it twice. It's by Silver Creek Samplers, on the naughty list, so that's very cute. This one's kind of fun. It's Summer House Stitch Works, and it's, I don't know if I'm gonna say it right, but Udolpho at Midnight, and it's a sandcastle next to what looks to be a tombstone. And I just thought the quote was kind of morbid and funny. It's Emily gazed with melancholy awe upon the moldering walls of the gloomy castle, and it's like a cute sandcastle on a beach. So I'm not sure what the story is behind this, but I thought that's too silly. I can't leave that. I did get this Hinseat charmed bait and tackle, and it is a cute little bait and tackle for all my fishing people in my home. Thought that was very sweet. Oh, it even has a needle in there. How nice. I did get a rosewood manor. I'm not going to open it up because it's just the chart inside, but it's a free like backstitched font and some other little designs. So I thought that would be fun to try to incorporate in some of my own little things where I can use that font. Love counting puddles. If you saw my second video, you saw my happy little snowman. And I found this, which is Counting Puddles Springtime Sip and Stitch. And it has a little elephant and a cross stitch hoop and needle and some skeins of floss. What looked to be a bouquet of flowers and a teacup in the background. And it's just so sweet. I love that. I love how she incorporates this black work with the cross stitch. I think that's really what appeals to me about her whimsical designs, is they are layered and they're just so much fun. They're so pretty. Somebody brought this on the brag table and I had never seen it, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm a Scorpio. And I thought, that's beautiful. And then I saw the pattern on the free table. So how cool is that? I'm not sure if they were the same people that dropped them off there, but lots of times when we get a Scorpio pattern, they're very harsh because scorpions are scorpions. But I like how they made the scorpion tail her little bubble braid here. So you still get the effect without getting the scorpionness of it, right? Like I'm gonna sting you and poison you and you're gonna die kind of a thing. I do live in Colorado, so we have those here. I did find a couple of just cross-stitch magazines that I was interested in. There were actually several there, but these have some really bright, fun summery projects and Easter projects. I did get this really fun little project bag that is not for me. I thought this is just so cool, and I immediately picked it up and had to shake it. It's got little glitters and all kinds of stuff. I wonder if I put something in front of it, if you can see it a little better, but it's see-through and it's got these glitter crazy party going on in here. And I thought my 8-year-old would just go bananas for this. So I brought it home for her. And then this gorgeous project bag is so sweet. I don't know who it's by, obviously. Oh, it's stitched by Liz, and it's got little honey jars and flowers and bees, and the front is vinyl. And it's got this gorgeous beehive kind of pattern behind it. So the little hexagonal print. It's just so happy. I really love this. I have a few project bags, but they tend to be Christmas and Halloween. I think I have a couple, maybe 1 or 2 that are not, but they're not vinyl front. So a really cute Wizard of Oz one that I just love, but it is all fabric, but the print is so cute. All right, let me throw these off to the side and let's keep going. So those were the freebie table. I was so excited about all of my little finds there. It was a madhouse. When people started putting stuff out there, I couldn't even put stuff out there because it was like shoulder to shoulder and people are going through stuff. And you know, with the murder mystery, I was like, oh, the murder's gonna start at the free table. Like, but it didn't, it started later. But I thought that would be, you know, a fight at the free table. Blood was drawn and someone got killed and there's a dead body, and that could have been fun. One sec. Okay, chronologically, what happened next? I'm gonna go out of order here. I'm gonna go out of order because I want to show you all the things that I purchased all together. So last night, it was not last night, it was Saturday night. Laura Landis taught us a flat fold finishing class. This has been my biggest struggle with projects, is I tend to, as you see, I get them framed. So what I don't tend to do is finish them myself. I don't know how to sew. I don't own a sewing machine. I probably could not sew a straight line. I would like to learn. My mom is a quilter. Hi Mom, if you're watching this, like, I'd like to learn. I think when she comes out in November, I'm going to be learning how to sew some things. That being said, that's why I've avoided fully finishing things, and I didn't realize how many things could be done by hand. So Laura taught us this flat fold. This is a Mill Hill kit that I ended up stitching on fabric. I picked it up at Needlework Galleria 4 years ago. And it's just so sweet. I love that little Scotty dog. Isn't he cute? I did stitch this as a gift for somebody. It's not fully finished yet. I need to do one more thing with it. But we did flat fold finish it. It says Merry Christmas on the back. I didn't bring ribbon, so we just kind of made my own ribbon. But it ends up sitting like this. I learned how to lace. If I can figure out how to, I'll enter some photos in here so that you can kind of see my process of what we ended up doing. I'm very pleased with how this came out. The last thing I wanted to do is I bought some red cording. No idea where it's at. I bought some red cording, so I'm gonna add it around the edges as a little trim. Although I could leave it like this and it's lovely. I would like that contrast from the red, so we're gonna add that on there. Loved that finishing class. She taught it into 2 parts. So first we learned how to lace and fit everything on the mat board with the matting and the adhesive, and which was double-sided tape. And we came back for a second round where we learned how to put all these pieces together with the little flat fold that kind of holds it so that it's like a sandwich board kind of a setup. Loved that. The other thing I'm going out of order for was the smalls exchange. I've never done a smalls exchange. I have seen them done, even at my normal stitch-ins, I've seen them done. I've just never done them. So I was very excited. My little producer will figure out how to insert a photo of what I brought. I brought the hands-on design year in chalk. I don't know which month it was, but it says Sleep Under the Stars. I stitched it on, what was it? The graphite? Whichever the picture this plus one is, that is really good for chalkboard. I think it's graphite linen. And then I used, what did I use? I don't know what I used. I used a yellow and then like a very pretty, not quite white, but just a little bit ivory. And I stitched that up and finished it during Frogwarts actually for some extra points, which was great. And then I finished it myself. I did not lace, now that I know how to do that. I used a glue gun and clips and stuff, and I think that it worked out really well. My lovely friend Bobby and I followed a YouTube video and learned how to finish last month so that I could turn around and try to do this. And then this is the beautiful, well, I want to show you the wrapping paper because I'm that person and I kept the wrapping paper. Look how cute this wrapping paper is. There were 3 themes for the smalls and you could choose one of them, you could do 2 of them, you could do all 3 of them if you wanted to. One was like murder, I think, or mystery. And then one was camping. And then the third one was wild card, which was just anything. So I chose to do the camping one, hence the Sleep Under the Stars. And this is the gorgeous stitch design I got. It's from Brittany Huff. She wrote this lovely little note to include. And it's just this little campsite in a jar. And it's so sweet. I love it. It's so perfect for me. I can't wait to put this on my mantle. I'm like, oh, it's home. It's Colorado. I don't live in postcard Colorado. I live in desert Colorado. But I'm really close to postcard Colorado, so, and it's just, I love to go there. So I love to go to the mountains, and it's so sweet. And she did such a nice job stitching that up, and the cute wrapping paper that was custom. I love it. Okay, next up, I will show you some of the prizes that I won for various things. We had a table game on Friday morning. I think it was Friday morning, where they released a list of basically like a scavenger hunt of things that we had to go find as a table. I didn't realize it was a table game. Things were going so fast. So I mean, we just sat down, we did the morning announcements, and then they passed out this paper, and I was like, I'm gonna plant my butt in this chair today. I'm gonna stitch. If you didn't know, you don't go to a stitching retreat to stitch, apparently, which I found out to be very true. So they passed out this list, and this lovely group of people that I was sitting with have been there now all 3 years, and I guess the last 2 years they won this game. And so they kind of looked at each other and they were like, I don't really want to do it this year. Do you guys want to do it? No, let's let someone else have a chance to win. And so Tamara and I, this is our first retreat for Black Needle Society. Not her first retreat ever, but her first one here. We said, oh, well, maybe we'll go do it, not realizing that it was a table thing. One of the girls across the table had said, oh, it's actually a table game. So like, pretty much we all do it or we don't do it. And we were like, oh, okay. And in my head, I'm thinking, that's okay. I need to sit down and stitch. And then she goes, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And Tamara's like, yeah, definitely. She goes, because if we're going to go for it, we're going to win. And I was like, let's go. So I was like, let's go 100%, like all in. And Tamara and I hopped in the car and we drove to both of the needle shops where with each of them you had to take a photo at a very specific place. So that was very fun. We drove like 35 minutes out. We went to the furthest one first, snapped our photo, said, we're just here for a scavenger hunt, we'll be back. Drove to the other one, snapped our photo, and then we took our time and shopped at that lovely store, which I will get to. We had lunch at Tacos for Life. I haven't had Tacos for Life since my bestie Kimberly and I went there in Arkansas like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, many years ago. I'm so glad to see it's still around. I wish it was here. They have such a great mission. If you haven't had them and you're nearby one, check it out. It's very, very good, and their cause is fantastic. So we had Tacos for Life. We went back to the first stitching store, took our time there, picked up some wonderful things. On the way back, she's telling me ghost stories and how ghosts call to her and stuff. And then she goes, oh, look, a charming little cottage that's like 100 and something years old. We should stop there. So we stopped there. It was unfortunately closed for the day, but we walked around their garden, which was beautiful and like open to the public. And they had a sign there and it said something about all bugs are good bugs. And I was like, ugh, except for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes have no point. And I got in the car and I look at my leg and I have a mosquito bite. I was like, okay, State Bird of Missouri, thank you so much. So I got a mosquito bite. We stopped at CVS for hydrocortisone, and then we grabbed a coffee and went back to the stitching retreat. That was really fun, and we did end up winning that event. I'm just tickled pink that the table was like, oh, you guys want to do it? Let's go for it. It was so special and so welcoming and inviting and just, it just gave me all the good juju. I loved it. We had fun and we won, and I think we were like, we had it all done like a half an hour before anybody else did. To be really honest, I was so like, get in my car. I like took the elevator up, ran to my room, grabbed my car keys. I was back on the elevator before the door closed, like before it went down. Got in my car, like a getaway car. I was like outside by the elevator. I was like, Tamara, get in, like I'm outside. And so she jumped in the car and we took off like a shot. It was a blast. That was really fun. I loved that. So thank you so much, Table 17, for making us feel so special and helping us have such a great time with that. I wouldn't have been sad to have missed out, but I am so happy that I didn't because it ended up being a blast. We were gonna go to the shops anyway, but to go like that was fabulous. So we missed half our day though. We didn't get back until, I don't know, 2:30, 3 something. Because we took our time and we had a blast after we got those photos in. So we did not do very many stitching things that day, which was fine. Honestly, it was wonderful. Let me separate these things out a little bit because I won 2 prizes and I want to make sure that I am picking up the right things. Because they got some things for one prize and some things for another prize. And I think this is what I got. If I'm wrong, it all works out in the end, right? That one goes here, and that one goes here. Okay, so we won this whole pack of stuff. So cool. And if I'm wrong and mistaken, basically there's 2 prizes I won, and one was in one and one was in the other, so basically the same. So I have this Between Friends collab. It's a winter sampling and it's a collab between Hands On Design and Summer House Stitchworks. Please focus. Here it is. So what it is, I believe, is all of the things you need to make any number of these items on the back. I love the color palette. I just think it's so pretty. I like how they finish that actually, now that I'm a finisher. I'm really excited to look through this. It's beautiful. I also got these very cute little floss drops, these little snail floss drops. They might have been in the other bag. I'm new to floss drops. I use floss away bags. These are by the Primitive Hair. And then I think the whole camp theme is snails. But I'm new to floss drops, and in fact, I didn't even really know what they were. And I think we had them as a scavenger hunt during the Frogworts, maybe last year or the year before. And it was like a floss drop with a blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at these because someone said it's the thing that holds your floss. And I was like, well, I don't think there's any pictures on them. I don't know what I'm looking for. It turns out it's a whole wide world of stuff. So I love those little floss drops. I may use them, we will see. So another prize is this lovely palette of floss. You can see they're beautiful. These are all these Weeks Dye Works. This accoutrement design needle minder. It's a stack of library books. Couldn't love that more. Little classic books. They're so cute. Oh gosh, Tamara was so funny when she went up to claim the prize with us. Basically, they would have someone do what I'm doing now and say, here's what's in here, here's what's in here. And Tamara was like, we won, I'm so excited. Like, she was so animated and fun, and it just, I think it just really tickled everybody pink about it. Like, it was just so funny. We have the Happiness is Homemade cookbook from the Nashville Needlework Market cookbook. And inside is actually really fun. I think all of the designers maybe, or all of the vendors included a small pattern, like a really small, like a small pattern, as well as a recipe. So this is like a tomato pattern, and here's a recipe for tomato soup. I don't know if they all coordinate like that, but wouldn't that be cool? It's pretty neat. I've got this Plum Street Samplers Gathered Hearts. We've got, woo, come back. Hands-on Design Ladybug Picnic, and you guys know I love hands-on design, and I've seen this one everywhere, and I am obsessed with that fabric. And then the Tidy Modernist, the Snail Rider, and she's so cute. My little girls would love her. So we got all of that in that prize pack. I actually ended up, because I also picked up my Frogworts prizes, so I ended up with 3 of these, and I ended up giving 2 of them away while I was at the retreat, and that was nice to be able to share things with people who were like, oh, I want that. And I was like, well, isn't it your lucky day? I have one. I had 2. So, and then I think a couple other people had multiples too. So a whole table of people went home with that. That did not expect to. The second fun thing, and I'll see if she can enter a picture here, is we had a little game throughout the weekend where the camp counselors hid little toy plastic pineapples, and mine is in my car because I was like fidgeting with it all the drive home. And they hid them, and there were probably hundreds of them, but they hid them all throughout the hotel, as well as in our stitching room, but not like in people's stuff, like on the edges of the room. So each morning and evening, whoever had the most pineapples at that point got to, or was given a prize. Well, maybe they gave us, I don't remember if I chose or if I was given one. Doesn't matter. I think it was, they're all the same thing. So I was so determined. I was like, oh, okay, we're finding pineapples. And then that first night I was like, if I were a pineapple hider, I would go hide them after the majority of people are sleeping. So I'm a late night stitcher, and I found some late night stitching friends who were just fantastic. And I was like, I bet they're gonna be on floor 2, which is where our stitching room was at, and floor 5, which is where the vendors were at. So I was like 2:30 in the morning. I went down to the front desk and I was like, hi, I'm not being creepy. I'm just looking for pineapples. And he was like, what? That's creepy, right? So I explained to him what the game was, and his name was Dominic. This hotel had fabulous employees, by the way. All of the problems that were with the hotel, the people were solid gold, fantastic people. So Dominic was like, come back and show me if you find any. Well, I'm so proud to announce I found 6. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I found 6 pineapples. This is great. I'm gonna win. Everyone else maybe found 2. So the next morning when they said, has anybody found 20 pineapples or more? And I was like, I found 6. I was like, I better step up my game. So each evening I looked and looked and looked and looked. And then Friday evening I looked and I found a handful of them. And I was down there first thing in the morning on Saturday, and I found a ton inside the stitching room. So I found 23, and won that day, which was very funny because that day they said, has anybody found 10 or more? And I was like, I have 23. I was like, my pockets were full of them. They were shaking. I was very excited to win. So this is what I won. I have this awesome Sherlock Holmes fabric, like mystery stitch. It has pistols on it and pipes and magnifying glasses and a little, it probably has a name for the hat style, but it's just a Sherlock Holmes hat. I don't know what it's actually called. Fantastic project bag. It's by Stitchy Missy. I got these spoolies. It says for cleaning a machine, but people were saying like after you have frogged something, you can use it to get all the little wispies off, which is great because I frog things all the time. I got this amazing Flamingo Toes skeleton flamingo needle minder. I love Flamingo Toes stuff. I've had her needle minders. I've been collecting them for a couple of years, just here and there, you know, like a birthday present or whatever, like I'll just order one. So now I love that I'm seeing these everywhere. I saw them at the Colorado Stitcher, or Colorado Cross Stitch, the Loveland store with Sherry. They were up there on the wall. I love that they've been in all the giveaways lately. I'm just like, I'm so excited for Flamingo Toes. I really want in on that monthly subscription box, but each time I get the email that one is available, I go to click it and it's sold out again. So fingers crossed I get a spot because I'm a massive fangirl. I got this beautiful sapphire 40 count linen. That's right, if I put my face in it, it doesn't like me. It's just stunning. It's such a nice jewel tone. I really like 40 count. I will serge the edges. I'm an edge serger. I bought a serger so I could edge things. Like I don't have a sewing machine, but I have a serger. That's why. I got this wonderful Silver Creek Samplers pattern. The ladies at our table all got this last year. And so this year they've all kitted it up and they sent, I took photos of the colors they're using. I'm not sure if they're trying to finish it by the next retreat, but they're all gonna stitch it along together. So I'm gonna butt in and join them because how cute is this? It's Silver Creek Samplers Camper Sampler. And I just love it. It's so sweet. And then I have Forbidden Fiber Company, Be a Mystery. It does have all of the floss in it. And it says, if you're going to be an open book, be a mystery, which is so cute. So I was just blown away by all of the stuff I brought home, by the generosity of all of the givers. I don't know where all these prizes come from, but how creative and clever. I love how they were put together. I love how they were on theme. I love the quality of them and how there's a pretty big array of prizes. Like I don't love samplers, and so I will probably find someone else to stitch this lovely sampler because it's just not really my style. But I love the banana pants off of that one, so I'll definitely stitch that one, you know? And I think they do a good job trying to find a way for everybody to love what's going on. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so not gonna be a 10-minute video. I'm already at half an hour, plus whatever the freebies were, or the table gifts were. Okay, I'm really excited about this part, and I'm not even sure how I'm gonna show you all the things because your girl can shop. So, all right, so they had vendors. They had a lot of vendors, and those vendors set up their suite so that the front of their suite is set up like a shop. Those of you who have been to a retreat probably know this, but I didn't know this. I didn't realize how many things and how many different things were going to be there. I assumed, you know, we'll have some vendors there. They're gonna kind of bring the things you might have forgotten. Like maybe some people will have like needles and thread and scissors or whatever. Like I did not think that we would have full-on creators there, which was so cool. There were project bags and antiques and okay, I'm just gonna jump into it because it was just so cool. I went in and out of every shop intending not on buying anything the first night because I wanted to come back and take my time throughout the weekend. We all know that's not what happened. It's not what ended up happening. So I think the first one is called Millennial Fabrics. And I also had joined their Facebook when they were announced as a vendor. So if I get these wrong, and I did not actually buy this from your shop, my apologies. That is the ADHD talking very loudly. So they had these beautiful project bags, and I just love the little chickens. I love the lace detail. That's really what caught my eye. I picked that up there. Another Flamingo Toes. I don't have this camper yet, so I got this little one. It's got pumpkins on it. It's a little Halloween looking guy. And then I also picked up, I was looking for fabric. Uh-oh, I have a grumpy toddler. We'll see if she, oh, I think a teenager helped her out. I was looking for fabric to do my new Tiny Modernist. I don't know what it's called, but it's the little moon with the flowers. It's very pretty. I've seen it in a lot of places. And I was like, oh, I'm just kind of not sure what I want to stitch it on yet. I hadn't really looked into it. And she said, do you have the thread pack? And I said, oh, I didn't know there was a thread pack. Like, which ones does it use? And she goes, no, it's a pack of thread. That was the challenge, is these designers were all given this color palette. It's beautiful. To, you know, from which to design a pattern from. So she said, I've got one more. So obviously I grabbed it. I didn't end up picking fabric because I think I have one that I'm really happy with in my stash, but now I have the floss. So that was at Millennial Fabrics. I went into, I think it was called Lady Dye Creates. Oh, and I meant to go back in and buy a ruler. She had rulers with little felt balls on them so that you could pre-thread your needles. And I think there was a magnet on the back of this ruler. So you could hang it on whatever, and you can pre-thread your needles for a challenge event like Frogwarts, and you can stick them into those little balls. And I meant to go back and buy one, and I forgot. But I did find myself a scissor frog. My friend Katrina, lovely stitcher, is like master antique finder, and she finds all these cool things. And when she showed us this, I had to have one. And I know a lot of people have them, but I didn't. And so now I do, and I'm so excited about it. Couldn't leave it there because that was one of those things that, like, if you see it, get it, because it's probably gonna go, and it's not like she made 100 of them, right? Like, she brought what she had. So I brought that there. I'm just gonna give you the sad now. I bought this at Dyson Needle. Tuesday, tomorrow, is my husband's 7-year angelversary. I don't know if I really believe fully in angels, but I kind of do. But it's just nicer than saying it's the day he died 7 years ago. And we're gonna just compound the grief onto one day. My buddy Murphy, he's right there. He's 15 years old. He's not doing well. He's declining pretty significantly in the last couple of months. And so tomorrow we're gonna send him home with his other dad. So I'm doing okay about it. I know it's the right decision, and this week has been more different than the other weeks have been. This week he's really having a hard time. And so I really feel like this is also the right time. I feel very settled on the decision. And I think we're gonna do it at home with a vet, and I think it's gonna be the kindest thing that we can possibly do. So I did find this at the Dyson Needle. It is just a little rainbow bridge kit. I think it's a Mill Hill. It's Positively Love Mill Hill kit. And when I have the, you know, when it happens, I will stitch this up. I may stitch it on fabric instead of the little perforated paper, but we'll see. I saw that and was like, I can't leave that there. I need to bring that home and stitch it, and maybe that'll be his ornament this year. So yeah, so there's my sad. Thank you for letting me share that. I kind of just approach grief head on, and then I feel the emotions later. So I do talk about it like it's, I don't want to say like it's no big deal, but I'm very candid about it. And then later, when it's quiet and there's not as much going on, that's when I can feel the feels. Okay, so the next thing I purchased in 2 rounds was at Crafting Magic, which was a shop owned by Vanessa. Lovely person, fantastic. Also, her kiddos and family were just so sweet. But she had like the most amazing selection of needle minders. So I've got this Hufflepuff Common Room by Accoutrement Designs. She had all of them there. She didn't have Ravenclaw, Rebecca, Wisteria Stitcher, or I would have bought it for you. Same thing with this. She didn't have Ravenclaw, but I did get the Hufflepuff because how cute is that? This one, I'm not sure if it's just by them, if maybe they made this, but it's Crafting Magic, and it looks like to be like a little clay needle minder, and I love that. It's got the little golden snitch and a wand and the envelope right on there. And I don't think it's gonna focus, but about as well as I could have. And this guy who is empty right now because it's on a project I'll show you in a second. And then this really cool little magnet board. I tend to use Pattern Keeper. After this week, I'm gonna try Markup RXP. But for those Pattern Keeper ones, or sorry, the paper pattern ones, I thought this was really neat. It's a little magnet board. It all sticks right on here. This can hold your pattern where it's at. This can mark your lines. It's got a ruler on it. It just folds up. And I love that. I think that would be great, especially for a retreat. I realized that I need to learn how to consolidate my stuff into a more, no, organized is not really the word, but in a more functional space so that I can spend more time stitching and less time looking for things. And I think that that will really be helpful. So next up is Boy Needleworks. This was such a cool shop. Raymond and Tim are lovely. I mean, just really engaging and creative and so inclusive and welcoming, and they really like embraced me, and I just loved meeting them. So what Raymond does at Ghost Boy is he is a stitcher, and he also designs these really cool, I think they're called peyote style beaded projects. So this is the one that I bought, obviously for the murder mystery theme. It's got that red handprint, and it's got these lovely beads hanging down. This is a full kit, including instructions on telling you what to do. How do I make this beautiful piece of art? Also, they said you can text and message and whatever, you know, they'll help you through whatever you need to do. I wasn't brave enough to start it then and there because beads and travel and me, not ideal. I'm the one who lost my purse, for those of you who were at the retreat with me. Spoiler alert, it was under my table. So after I walked 6 miles around the hotel trying to find it, it was exactly where it was supposed to be. So in addition to that, I also bought this really cool bead board, which helps you to organize your beading projects. If you did see my gallery wall, you know that I do a lot of beaded cross-stitch projects, and I think this is really, really gonna help. Sometimes I will avoid doing the beading on a project for a long time because to sit down and put them on my little tiny sticky bob, all the different colors, I kind of just mentally go, okay, this group is over here, this group is over here, this group is over here. And I love that these are labeled and I can put them in their own little spot. Love that. And then there's also a workspace for doing this. This is fabulous. It's magnetic and rubber banded, and he said static. So, I mean, these are really like, they had beads in here and they were shaking them around and they didn't go anywhere. So that's what I need in my life. I got this super cute little needle minder from them. It says Ghost Boy Needleworks. Isn't he cute? I really think he's cute. And then the other cool thing that they were offering as a feature is they had the whole selection of Cosmo floss. I'm new to Cosmo floss. I have heard of it, but I was like, oh, it's the same thing as DMC. Here's DMC right here at the store, so I'll just buy it. So they were offering a service where if you brought them a paper, and it's somewhere, of the DMC that you needed, they will convert it to Cosmo floss and kit up a project for you. So they did that. And I had them kit, now you can see there's some non-Cosmo floss in there, I'll explain that in a second. But I had them kit this up for a new project that I purchased. I guess the feature of Cosmo floss is that the sheen is shinier. It doesn't fray as easily, so you can work in longer strands if you want, and it doesn't necessarily twist up and start to get fuzzy on itself. It tangles significantly less is one thing they were saying, and it just has really vibrant, rich colors, and there is a match for just about every DMC. So that's a service they offer through their website as well, and you can send them a whole list and they'll send you all of it of DMC, and they'll send it to you in Cosmo. So I'm very excited to work on this, which leads me to my next one. at the stores that we went to in a rush, but then we took our time. I came home with some new friends. So at Quilter Station, I'm not gonna show you what I purchased, but I will tell you what I purchased. Isn't their bag cute? I purchased a pattern for a friend as a gift because she helped to watch my toddler while I was gone, while my hubby was at work. And so I purchased a gift for her, and then I also purchased a gift for a stitcher that the most kind act of kindness that I'll go to in my other video is I'd had a very, very stressful morning, and one thing led to another, and I was at the front desk discussing the situation with the front desk staff, and these other lovely stitchers were nearby, and they kind of overheard, and so I said, yeah, it's just been a lot, so I'm gonna handle it this way. And they were like, okay, well, we're gonna go do these things, do you wanna come? And I thanked them for inviting me because they were gonna go to the stitching stores, but I had to take care of some things first. When I came back and I saw them, I don't want to call them out by name because I don't know if they want this to be known, but this person gave me a hug and checked in and said, how are you doing? And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for checking in on me. And then she handed me money. She handed me cash to alleviate the decision that I'd had to make. So I know I'm being really ambiguous, and I will very vaguely touch on it because it's not my intention to just be like, here's all this crazy stuff, But she saw where I was struggling, not in a financial way, but in my heart is sad kind of a way. And she literally handed me money, and I was like, I don't need money. I'm okay. I've got savings, and I've got all these things. But and she was like, no, just please let us bless you, and please pay it forward if not. So I picked up a cute little pattern for her, and I gave it to her that evening, the last evening of the stitching event. But what kind people. I met just the best of the best this weekend. I really did. There were just lovely people everywhere, and that was really nice to be amongst. So that was at Quilter Station, and then I went to C&C and Company, or CC and Company for Stitchers Who Count. How cute is her little bag? She was so sweet. What a nice lady. I don't know if she's the shop owner or she just worked there, but I mean, just really great. She had a wall of mirrors. I came home with 3. So I came home with the Lady of Mystery, and I was like, wow, I want to be her when I grow up. Look at her. Yeah, yes, please. I want her dress. I want her hair. I want her arch. I want everything about her. So I told you I threw all my stash of fabric into the car. Let's see if I can put something behind this. So we are stitching her over one very, very small on Under the Sea Fabrics. This is a 32 count linen. However, I had used a little corner of this piece of fabric for a gift I stitched for my grandma. So I didn't have enough to stitch her over 2. So I'm stitching her over 1. And I'm really excited to see how she turns out. The color is evergreen. It is not made anymore. However, my new friend Amy Jane may or may not have asked the owner of Under the Sea if this is something that she can dye again, because look at the richness of this turquoisey green, stunning color. It's just beautiful. And to see her with her pinks up against that fabric, she's gonna be a knockout. I'm so excited for her. Here are those other 2 needle minders that I purchased. This one says, it's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. That became my mantra this weekend. And then this one says something about here lies all of the F's that I give. So that was fun. And I'm so excited to stitch her. I also had Naomi, and I don't know everybody's FlossTube names because I am new to this and you guys know that. But Naomi came over and uses Markup RXP and showed me on her Markup RXP that she has the same chart, and it is she was able to put in the colors and everything so that it shows the actual colors. Whereas before for Amira, I go to Staples, I bring the pattern to Staples, they scan it in on their wide format scanner, and then I kind of figure out how to get it into Pattern Keeper. And it's basically the same as a highlighter and paper, except without the awkward foldable cardboard situation that we all know from Amira. So I'm really excited to try that on Markup RXP. She's gonna help me get it into there and show me how to get it set up. So I also bought this project bag, which I found out later was maybe they had hinted that we were having a mystery or something, but this is the sister bag to this, which is kind of fun because I got them in totally different places, but look how cute this is. I just think it's so sweet. Again, it's by Stitchy Missy Handmade, and it's just the cutest little project bag. And I saw this and bought it before I received that as a prize. So now I'm just like, I have both of them, yay. So that was cool. She gave us these lovely little drops, I guess, charms. This was just a freebie for their anniversary. And then she also let us choose a free pattern, I think also for their anniversary. And I got Learner's Permit, which is Rosie and Me Creations. And she had it up on the wall. I just love it. That little witch is upside down. It says Learner's Permit, only valid on nights with a full moon. And my oldest has his Learner's Permit right now, so that's pretty apt for my life. So I also picked up Rapunzel. Isn't she pretty? Along with all of her embellishments. And you saw I had Sleeping Princess on the wall, so I picked up Rosamund and her embellishments. So she's sleeping. You can kind of see her there. I know that light is catching it. So I did pick up these mirrors. I've only ever stitched one mirror at a time. That's changing. You guys have made a crazy stitching monster out of me. So that was my shopping experience out and about. On the very last night of the retreat, I was sitting chatting with Amy Jane, and then, oh my gosh, what is her name? This lovely lady who I didn't know was the vendor person. I thought she was because I saw her, but then she had a hat on, so I wasn't sure. Oh, where I bought this, see, I bought things I didn't even remember I had. I bought this from her shop on the first night because it was the last one and I wasn't gonna leave it there. Clutch your pearls, there's profanity. How am I gonna show this to you? Here, I'll put it on top some felt. But it's just a little scissor fob. And it says Stitch B right on it. And it's got a little pair of scissors on the end. So my scissors have scissors and I love that. So I bought this from her shop. It's called the Golden Familiars. I think it's called the Golden Familiars. Sure is. I stole this lady's bag right off her shoulder. Okay, I paid for it, but I was like, oh my gosh, look at your bag. I love your bag. And she's like, thanks, I made it. And I was like, wow, you're really good at sewing. She's like, I had a whole shop. And I was like, oh my God, that was you. Hello, I was tired and ADHD and so overstimulated. I was like, duh. So I ended up taking her entire bag. She sells these as custom bags. She brings them to retreats as an example. And then you can go onto her website and customize exactly what you want in a bag. And she was trying to convince me. She's like, you could get like a fabric of your own choosing, and you can customize the pulls and what kind of the bottom you want and all these things. And I was like, yeah, but I want that one. I want that one. Like that one was made for me. Like if it's not your bag, you know, because she was like, oh, I just used it real quick to come downstairs. Like this is actually a demo bag. And I was like, okay, can I buy it? She's like, yeah, let me figure out the price. I'll tell you right now that if you order a custom bag, you will have sticker shock. But I don't tend to have bags. I tend to carry my stuff around. Now I have a ton of bags, but I tend to carry my stuff around in a situation like this because I'm unhappy with the bags that I've had up until now. I didn't realize that until I saw this bag. I don't like floppy bags. I don't like bags with big nondescript pockets where everything gets lost. I don't like bags that don't have long, thick straps because when sometimes you're putting stuff in here, they're really heavy. I don't like open-ended bags. I like a bag with a zipper. So this is what I stole from her and paid for. But this is the bag that I ended up getting, and I just am obsessed. It's perfect. This bag, I don't even know what it's called. Like she has custom bags and I was just like, I want it. And I'm never that person, but I was like, I didn't want to put it down. I picked it up, I felt it. It's quilted. So the fabric like It's nice and sturdy. The bottom has I think it's vinyl on the bottom, but it also has little feet. So in my messy life, like that's wipeable. And when you go places like on an airport or a plane or a stitching retreat in a falling down hotel, like things are gross, right? And so I don't want my whole bag to just flop over onto the ground where it's just nasty, and I'm keeping all my very precious stitching things that I like to keep clean. This one, y'all, back up for a second. You can just, it just stays. And that seems like a feature you'd find in a lot of things, but it's not something I've found in a lot of things. So this side has no pockets. I love this because this is my new mantra. Because of some of the experiences that I had this weekend is now I just have to read my bag when I'm not sure what to say. And I say, no, goodbye. No, goodbye. This is really cool. I love this. This guy right here, you can stick on your rolly bag and then just roll it along with you as you go on your trip. I love how coordinated, and then there's also a pocket here so you can put, you know, little bitty things in here, right here on this side. But this one itself is not a pocket. It's to go onto your luggage, which I love. Look at this little skull charm with it. Love, 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 love. So cute. Even the zipper itself has that like, holographic, what's the word? But it even has like a rainbow zipper. You can kind of see it catching the light there. So you've got rainbow here, rainbow here, rainbow on the charm, rainbow on this zipper pull. Open it up, and we have rainbows on the inside. Love. I love this little clip, so you can clip things here, not lose it. I don't know what I'd put, maybe my keys, maybe something, I don't know. But there's 2 deep pockets in this bag that go down the sides right here and right here. And then on this side, there is, I'll just flip it over. There's a pocket right here. It's a pretty generous size. It's got a nice flat bottom, and it's really neat. The strap is like spider webs. I'm not a super witchy person, but I appreciate it very much so. So yeah, I stole her bag, and it's my favorite thing. This is probably my favorite thing that I purchased on the whole trip, and it was just kismet that she happened to come down because I don't think she was planning to, and that she brought this bag, and that I'm a ding dong and was like, wow, you're so good at sewing. And she was like, thanks, it's my whole profession. Like, and I'm really good at it. So just pleased as punch that I bought this. I will link all of these things in the description so that if you're interested in anything, please check out these lovely vendors. They are, I mean, just such incredible people and very talented creators and stitchers. They are all also stitchers. So I think that they really are very good at understanding what we're looking for. And while everything works differently for everybody, there's kind of a general, these work well. And if you don't know about a bag like that with a luggage strap, or you don't know about the beading mat, things like that, like these really could improve you being able to enjoy your craft even a little bit more. I think that's all for right now. I think I showed you everything that I bought and was given. Wow. Holy cow. So I had to figure out where to put all of this stuff. I do have a system for organizing my things. I don't know when I'll come back. I think what I'd like to do is come back and do a video about what I wish I had known going into my first retreat. And maybe that will help others who are considering going on a retreat, but maybe have some questions or unknowns that they're not sure about. Possibly anxieties about being around a whole bunch of new people in a new place, in a new setting. Different things to consider when you're going into this, and things that I maybe thought I knew enough about, but then it turned out if I'd known a little bit more about it, it maybe would have shaped the way that my weekend went in a little bit better of a way. I'm gonna get all of this put away, and then I do have to work. I wasn't able to work because I could not get the internet to work with my laptop. And when I did, it kept dropping, and so I wasn't able to work remotely last week. I hope I still have a job. So I'm gonna do my best to get through everything today that I was not able to get through last week. And then I'm gonna work on this gorgeous Mira. She's so pretty. stitching goals for this month, I do have my 2 Whip Go goals. I was not able to get my Once Upon a Time finished during the weekend. I just didn't have the chance to. I missed out on a lot of stitching time because of other circumstances. And then I want to finish that completely, which happens to be one of my Whip Go goals. Do my other Whip Go goal. And then I've got a couple of things I really would like to finish. A stitching goal that's not specifically stitching number related is I want to check out Markup RXP on my iPad and see if it functions better and has some of the features that I wish Pattern Keeper would have, just to kind of see where I land. I tend to try a new thing, and if it works well enough, and I just stick with it, and even if it's not perfect, I just kind of deal with it. But I saw several people using it this week, using Markup, and I think that it would be ideal for me. So yeah, so that's a goal this month, is learning how to use Markup. Uh-oh, here they go. Where are you going? What did you find? Did you find a bird? Go get him. My guy, you guys, my guy. This is just, he does the sweetest boy. He's such a good boy. He really is. He's been, I don't want to cry. He has just been the sweetest guy that I've ever known. So here's Murphy. I hope you all can love him as much as I do. He's gonna go home to his dad tomorrow. He's my good boy. He's a sweet, sweet, sweet boy. And I got Dopey over there. He's 8 years old and he's like ADHD goat dog. He just lopes everywhere. All right, you guys, take care. Happy stitching, and thank you for sticking with me for this whole hour. If you have, I will be back soon to share my actual things that I'm working on and actually show you that, yes, I do actually actively stitch, as well as check in with you on maybe some first-time tips for a retreat. I gotta let this little guy outside and help him get down the stairs. Bye-bye.